Hi everyone, thank you for coming back to my channel. I'm Stephanie if you're new here. So today's video we are going to clean out my fridge and freezer in the house and then my fridge and freezer out in the garage. It's that time of month where I'm going to be going grocery shopping and I need the two main ones cleaned out. So the house one is a mess and I have a lot of extra stuff in there that can just go to the animals. And then the one out in the garage is our kids' snack fridge and like our drinks and stuff, and that's where we store a lot of our milk. It hasn't been cleaned out in a while and I want to use that for the freezer meals. I want to be able to lay them nice in there and then label that freezer on what freezer meals are in there. We have two freezer chests out there and two upright freezers that we store a lot of our food. But I need to get everything out of the outside freezer one and put in one of the other ones that, it's just things that we will use eventually, but it doesn't need to stay in this freezer. It's just kind of taking up space. So we have a freezer out there that we use randomly for things, and that's where I'm going to be putting that extra stuff, is just in that freezer. So I'm going to be sharing. So I got a bunch of stuff over here, so I'm going to just clean this up here quick. So we have this egg basket that is, I love it. It is so cute right here. And I like it here, but I saw something on Facebook and it's a can holder, like a soup can holder that people will use to organize their cans. And so the lady, what she did is she labeled it like Mondays eggs, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and then Saturday and Sunday shared a spot. And I love that idea because these are just kind of sitting here, and these are like the older ones, and then the newer ones always go on top, which it should be the other way around. So these are good eggs from this week, so these are not bad. I just went through them the other day, but it would be nice if we could label them that way, and that way we know which ones are fresher than the other ones and which ones we need to use up first. I'm going to put that together in today's video. And if I don't like it, I'm not going to use it and I'll just return it, but we'll just go back to this because it's so pretty. And then I have my eggs off to the side, and I always have this little thing for rice and stuff. So yeah, it does take up quite a bit of our counter spot. I just don't want that organizer to be worse than this basket. So we're going to see if that works. But I haven't shared an air fryer video with you guys in a very, 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 very long time. So if you're new here, I started out making air fryer videos on Friday, and I shared them every Friday. And that's kind of how my channel got picked up. And I stopped making them because YouTube just kind of got saturated with air fryer videos, and it just wasn't working for the time that, how I could record them and stuff. It just wasn't working for our family for me to share them. But I have a really, really good one for you guys today. So I'm excited for that. So if you're interested just in the air fryer video, I'm going to have that at the end of today's video. So we're going to start out with cleaning out the fridge. Then we're going to get the eggs organized, and we are going to have a nice air fryer recipe that I'm excited to share with you guys today. All right, we're going to start out in our fridge and freezer out in the garage. This freezer, we just store random stuff in there, and sometimes we don't even use this stuff. It'll be something that maybe eventually I can cook up, but it's not really something that we really need right now. Some of the stuff I got from a pantry maybe like a year or so ago, and I just don't know if I would actually use it. So I have another freezer out in the garage that we store some stuff like our chickens that we butcher, and I'm just going to add it to that freezer. I want to clear out this freezer so that I can have it for our freezer meals. All right, so now into the fridge. This is where we store all the kids' snacks and all of our drinks and like our milk and everything like that. So we put a lot of our yogurt, our leftovers if we have any, and then I thaw out our meat in this fridge also. The one in the house we use for everyday use. This one is just mainly for drinks and snacks and things that we have to store if we don't have room out in the other fridge. So I'm going to use a lot of that for the animals. That's just leftover food that we're not going to be eating, so I'm going to put that out probably by the pigs. So right now I'm just trying to organize everything because I know once I go grocery shopping, I'm going to need the extra space to put everything in. All right, so I'm going to clean this out quick and then we're going to move on to the fridge inside the house. Now on to the inside fridge. What I like to do is just pull everything out of the fridge, whether I'm gonna keep it or not. I did get these liners from Temu and I do not like them. We found that they slip all over the place, and when you try to put food and stuff in there, they just kind of move on you. So we're gonna take them out today, and I gave them to Lauren to see if maybe he can use them for something, but they really didn't work for me. They didn't like stick to the glass, or it just didn't serve us any reason to have them. So I took them out, but I'm gonna clean all of this out, wipe everything down, and then I'm gonna kind of look through everything that I had in there, keep what I'm going to be using, and then the other stuff is just gonna go to the animals. We ended up having to clean out a lot of the jars and stuff that I decided not to keep, and some of the food items we just gave to the animals. All right, so I'm gonna quick get the freezer cleaned out, and we are gonna move on to the egg containers. All right, so I was so excited to try out these organizers. I was hoping that this would be something that was really going to help us with keeping track of what eggs were fresh or not. A lot of times we went through our eggs pretty quick anyways, and if I didn't keep up with them, I would just give them to the animals and or just cook them up quick. But I did have some times where I did have to just throw some out because we didn't get to them fast enough. So with this will just help keep everything organized, as in what days they came from and if it goes into the next week, which is fine. So Miles is usually the one that goes and checks on the eggs and brings them in the house. Even if I bring them in, we will know what day that they came from. And even if we double up the next week on the same day, that should be fine too, because so usually the eggs will last about 2 weeks unwashed on your countertop. So that's usually what we do. We don't really worry about that. And like I said, we use them up anyways. So putting this together, I did have to tighten a couple things just so that they don't move around. That wasn't part of putting it together, but that's what I wanted to do because I didn't want them things to slide all over the place. This really worked for me. It also comes with screws that you can screw it in place if you would like, but I'm not going to do that because I'm not guaranteed that I'm even going to keep it. So we're just going to give it a try and see if we really like it, or if this just is something so big on our countertop I'm just going to get sick of it. So we're just going to give it a try, but I think it is great for us to be able to just keep track on when they came in and make sure that we don't go too long without changing them out. And I think this is just going to work out better. So I did like the basket better just because it looked a lot nicer sitting on our countertop than this big thing, but I think this is going to work out really good. So what I ended up doing is just sectioning off what ones that I have. So with the darker eggs, that is the black copper Morans, and then the blue eggs are the Silkies, and the green egg, if you can see it in the corner there, that is our Silver Roods. And then my next one is just our normal chicks that are free ranging, and then we also have some guinea eggs that I'm going to be marking right here. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Wednesday has the guinea eggs. All right, so as the eggs come in, we will just change that out, and we probably won't keep it this way, but this is just how I needed to put it together. Okay, so I'm going to share this air fryer recipe with you. If you want, you can get liners like this off of Amazon. I have the round ones. I'm going to do a smaller batch than what the recipe is. So instead of 6 eggs, I'm going to do 3 eggs, just because my liner isn't as big as my air fryer. But I do have a silicone one. If you guys want, I might still have the link for this in my description. I can leave that in the comment section too. This would work, so you would put all your stuff in here, or what I can do is just put it like this, and then that kind of fills it. I just want to be able to give you this recipe so that if you have liners like this or square ones, that all you need is this. We're gonna try it this way first and see how that turns out. So what you need for this recipe is ham, onion, red pepper, and then some cheddar cheese or any kind of cheese that you would like. You can do anything with this recipe. So you're gonna need either 3 eggs for smaller liners, 6 eggs for a bigger liner, and then you can add anything that you want to it. So you can add bacon bits, ham, you can add steak if you have like little steak pieces. You can add any veggies to this. You don't have to add any veggies. You can just make this an egg and cheese or an egg and cheese bacon. So that is what I am going to share with you guys. So I'm excited to try this. So I have other air fryer videos. I have a whole playlist if you guys are interested in going back and checking out some of my older videos. Like I said, my air fryer videos is kind of how my channel picked up in the first place, and I have very good egg recipes from the past that are still going every single month, and I did them a couple years ago, so every month I'm still getting views on them videos. I think it was like scrambled eggs, hard-boiled eggs, over easy eggs I think I have on there, and omelets and all of that for air fryer videos that I shared in the past. And I thought, since I found this recipe, I kind of want to share it with you. So I am not the original person that made this up, but I wanted to share it with you because it's too good to not share. So hopefully you guys like it. And if you guys have an air fryer, let me know in the comments down below. Now on to the air fryer recipe. All you are basically doing is making an omelet in the air fryer. So we are just going to be using either a paper liner, or if you have something small enough to fit in your air fryer, that will work out just fine too. So I have paper liners and I also have a silicone liner. Either one is going to work out great. You also can use cupcake liners, as in a silicone cupcake liner for air fryers. You can get all of that on Amazon. I also have Amazon storefront that I store, or I share all of that on there on things that you can get for your air fryer. So for this recipe, all I'm going to do is basically cut up everything that you need for an omelet. I don't know the name of what this recipe is actually, but the lady that shared it named it something other than an omelet. So I'm not really sure, but we're just going to make it. So for the paper liner, I'm doing 3 eggs and adding all my toppings, and you can add whatever you would like to this recipe. I'm basically just sharing the recipe with you, as in how to put it in your air fryer and what to set your air fryer to. So we are going to set our air fryer to 375 and cook it for about 10 to 15 minutes using the smaller recipe. And for the silicone recipe, we are going to be cooking it a little bit longer. So I found that using a liner worked out just fine. I forgot to spray the liner, but otherwise it would work out pretty good. And it turned out really good too. All right, so using the silicone mat is no different than using the liner. So I'm going to be using about 6 eggs for this recipe, and I'm going to do the same thing, just add everything in there. I found that the silicone mat worked so much better than using the liners, but if that's all you have, just use the liner. Or like I said, use a small cake pan that will fit in the air fryer. I've tried them before and they work out fine too. So, all right, for the silicone mat, you're just going to do the same thing. Give it a quick spray. Then add all your ingredients. I'm going to set my air fryer to 375 for 20 minutes, and that worked out pretty good with that time and temp. And it came out of the liner a little bit better than using the paper liner. So I'm just going to cut it up in pieces and put it in these little bowls, and if any of the kids want to try it, they can try it. Otherwise, this is a quick breakfast for me and some of the kids if they're wanting to have a quick omelet. I know sometimes you can use your frying pan a little bit quicker, but for people that aren't able to use a stove and they can just use their air fryer, this works out perfect for them. All right, so that is everything for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Able to get the fridge and freezer cleaned out in the garage, and then this one in the house. I was able to clean this out. All that's in there is popsicles and the kids' rice bags. And then up here is some breakfast stuff and some fruit and some other like just random stuff up here. But this is good for now. It's mainly this area that was full of stuff like packaged stuff that kind of fell in there. So I got that all cleaned out, and now it's ready for groceries. I was able to get that cleaned, and then that freezer cleaned. That was the whole reason why I needed to get this cleaned out, is because that was terrible. Freezer out in the garage was mainly so I could do some freezer meals in there. And then I also wanted to share that recipe with you guys, so hopefully you guys like that. When I did the recipe, it turned out better in the silicone mat instead of using the liner, but also the liner worked too. So you can do whatever if you have like a smaller cake pan, you can do that in there. So really, if you have anything that you can cook with in the oven, you can put in your air fryer as long as it's small enough to go in there. So that I wanted to share with you. And then also the egg thing, how this turned out. I just put little labels on here that I had. I don't think they're gonna stick on there. I think I need to get something a little different, maybe some clip-on ones from Hobby Lobby. But just so we know what day that the eggs came in. And these are just whatever I had in the basket, so I kind of just put them like this. We just need to use these up, and then we can start doing it the right way. So tomorrow is Friday, and Miles can start putting them in Friday, and then we'll just go from there. And then whatever we need to do with this, I'll make them up in some way. So that is good. I just didn't know if it's too big for our countertop. It sticks out a little bit more, and it's a little bit wider. I can't move it over anymore because it has a little ledge underneath here. And then the microwave is off to the side here, so we can't have it by the door. Otherwise, I think it turned out. I will leave the link for this down in the description. Today's video is not sponsored. I saw this on a picture on Facebook, and this is what they were doing, and I thought that was a good idea. Otherwise, our eggs are just sitting in that basket and what day they came from. So this will work out good. That is everything for today's video. So don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.